I saw that happen. No. Alright guys, we made it to the lake. So we're going to be testing out the homemade traps against this cheap like $17 trap. Bought this $17 trap from Amazon. We're going to test it against the traps that I made from home. I think my traps are going to do better, but we'll see. I mean, my traps only cost me, what, $3? And that trap is a $17 trap, but it's made with real flimsy material. So it's got some pretty bad reviews. People were saying that turtles were able to rip through the trap when they put it out overnight. So we're not going to put these out overnight. We're just going to give it a few hours. We're not trying to overload with crawdads. We're going to do a small boil later, so we don't need too many. Whoa. Yeah, so this thing just like zips closed, which I guess is nice because then you actually have a way to get the crawdads out. So that's a plus. I think for bait, I'm just gonna throw in a bag of sardines from our last tuna fishing trip. Probably have to take it out of the bag because the bag is floating. Yeah, so we just ripped open the bag because the bag was floating. Just gonna throw it right there. Morning. Morning. There used to be so many crawdads out here. Oh, that's not... Mind if I set some traps around here? Oh, all right, sweet. All right, so we got the first homemade trap in, full of pompano. The rocks did help sink it, and I punctured some holes at the bottom. Yeah, we'll see how this one works. I think now we can just go ahead and start fishing. All right guys, so for the fishing setup, we're gonna go with some Berkeley Gulp shiners. These things usually get the job done. These might be a little bit big for the trout in here, so we might have to cut them. Sorry guys, I wasn't filming, but I got onto a good one. Trying to play them because I have 4-pound test on. I only brought my light set up. I didn't think we were going to be doing anything big. That's good. Right on the side of the mouth too. Nice. Get the net. Extend the net a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't pop off.
Yep.
Alright, cool. Thank you, sir. Nice. Heck yeah, thanks, man. That's a good one. That's a freaking good one. Was not expecting to catch a trout today. We came out here to do the crawdad experiment. Oh, came out here to do the crawdad experiment and decided to take a dangle, and I'm glad I did. Dang, that's a pretty fish. That might be my personal best. It's hooked perfectly on the side of the mouth. Exactly how you want it. And then we got the hook out. The Appalachians are a huge place to go trout fishing.
Okay.
So like that's what I grew up doing. Is trout fishing.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
no, we're novices.
So you're looking at, yeah, 3 pounds, man.
3-pounder.
Yep.
That's a personal best for sure. That's a good thumbnail. All right, let's go on with another Berkeley gulp. See if we can make that happen again. I think 2 would be a perfect number to keep. All right, let's get back out there. Set a little bite. Yes, I saw that happen. No way. I watched it happen right at my feet. That's a big one. I've watched that dude eat it. And he's fighting now. He's gonna get off. Ah, he's gonna get off. He's gonna get off.
So I watched these right here.
Yeah, they're all right. They're stacked up. All right. He didn't realize he was hooked when I first got him, but now he knows he's hooked, and he doesn't like it.
I don't want to lose this one either.
Oh, snatch it, snatch it. Nice.
I think this one's your personal best. This one's bigger than the other one.
Hell yeah. 2 in a row, dude. 2 baits, 2 fish. And this is a monster. Jeez. I should probably bleed these guys. They're so big.
Since you're in right here, I'm gonna throw out towards that buoy across from you.
No worries. It's been about an hour and a half or 2 hours. We're gonna pull up the first homemade trap. See how that does. I can see it from here. Looks like there's like a couple minnows caught in it. Yeah, we got 1 minnow so far, from what I can see. So no crawdads for the first trap. I threw it back in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and check the second homemade trap. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I saw it moving around a bunch, but I don't know if crawdads were trying to eat it from the outside or if they're actually finding their way in. Yeah, see, I definitely saw a crawdad eating it from the outside. Yeah, I don't think that they're finding, I don't think that they know how to get in here. Because there's a bunch of crawdads around it, but none of them really seem to know how to get in there. Okay, so the first two crawdad traps, the homemade ones, didn't really have anything in them. But I just approached the one we bought at the store, the super cheap one, and it's infested with crawdads. I don't know if they're on the outside or the inside, but we're gonna try to pull it up now. Yeah, it's heavy. Holy cow. Yeah, that's loaded. That's loaded, dude. It's crazy. Hopefully these guys don't try to eat my trout that's in here. We also didn't get any rips in the trap, which is one complaint that a lot of people did have, is that the traps were ripping. Okay, so we did pretty well on our first drop down with the cheap net. We found out that the crawfish trap works a lot better than the homemade traps. I'm coming up on it right now and I already see a ton of life happening around it. I don't know if stuff is inside, but I'll bet you it is. It was definitely loaded last time. I was able to fill up half the cooler. Let's go ahead and fill the other half and we might head out. It's about that time. Here goes nothing. Oh my gosh. Not only do I have an abundance of crawdads, but there's also like a ton of minnows in there. Don't know if I'm going to be able to save the minnows. Probably going to die, but we'll see. Alright, let's get this thing unloaded. So we're back in the backyard, back at the house, and the first step is to purge them. What that means is we're going to take these bad boys and put them in this cooler. The cooler looks a little bit dirty right now, but that's just because it rained inside of it and it kind of accumulated some iron at the bottom. You just want to open up whatever drainage system you have in your cooler or bucket. Stick your hose right into your cooler and then just turn the water on. Just start throwing them bad boys in there. And we're just gonna let the water run through these crawdads until it's clear. Or mostly clean at least. Because these guys sit at the bottom of the lake in the mud. Now these are some clean ones compared to Some you might catch in the south, but you still always want to purge them. Also, that way you know which ones are dead. They float to the top. Alright, I'm just going to get all these guys in here, and then I'm going to go fillet those 2 massive trout that we caught. So far so good. The fish looks amazing on the inside, kind of ugly on the outside. The tail is all battered up, but what do you expect from a stock trout, especially one this old? This one is about 4 pounds. This one for sure I'm gonna fillet out. The water's starting to look really clear on our crawdads. We've got that beautiful trout, fully processed. I already put a little bit of salt on top to get rid of the excess moisture. We're just gonna chill this out in the fridge while we prep everything for the crawdad boil. So we're gonna start with some potatoes, and we're just gonna rough chop these. We just want manageable pieces, so I'm just gonna go in half vertically and then just give it a rough chop. Of course, we're using Guy Fieri's knife, the knuckle sandwich. Best knife ever. We're gonna get some water boiling for our potatoes. So in this pot, I'm gonna do the potatoes, sausage, corn, all the classic crawdad boil items. In this pan, we're gonna be cooking the crawfish tails, only the tails, and we're gonna make a nice sauce for them. We got some fresh corn. Let's go ahead and cut these into thirds. That's a lot harder when they're raw. And last but not least, Cajun smoked kielbasa. Looks good. Everything's ready for the crawfish boil. So for the crawfish tail sauce, we're gonna go in with 2 sticks of butter. There's 2. Some extra virgin olive oil. Some garlic powder. Black pepper. And adobo spice. My sauce is nice and melted down. I'm going to turn up the heat. And then I'm going to go in with these crawfish tails. Man, that smell of butter and garlic, just fumigating the air. It smells so good. Alright, this pot is looking good. I'm going to go ahead with my potatoes. Okay, so for the trout, we're gonna crisp up the skin on a cast iron skillet, and then we're gonna finish it off in the oven. And then we might make a potato puree type of cream sauce to put on top. Let's get it done. So trout do have pin bones that go down their center. That's better. So we're just gonna use some oil, some of that butter from the crawdads to crisp up the skin on our trout. It's got all that nice flavor. Our big pot is ready for corn. We're gonna go ahead and throw the sausage in as well. Make sure the corn gets all the way in there. That should be good. Trout is looking good. Looking a lot like salmon actually. Gonna hit that with a little bit of black pepper. Skin's getting nice and crispy. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the oven. Should be good. Now we can get started on our cream sauce. Some leftover potatoes au gratin. Heavy cream. Alright, now we'll add all this to a blender. First impressions, it looks like salmon. My wife says it tastes like salmon. I made a potato puree sauce with some leftover potatoes au gratin. It seems to be a good match. Let's see.
Daddy, can you open this for me? This, Dad,
Yum.
can you open this?
Tastes just like salmon.
Can you open this monster for me?
Trout was really good. Now let's try one of these crayfish tails that's cooked in butter sauce. A little morsel. Super tender. The butter kind of makes it bouncy, almost like a lobster tail, and takes away from that muddy flavor that you would usually get. It's really good. Kielbasa. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. We went out, caught way too many crayfish, but we're gonna have to finish them. Caught two definitely PB trout. I'd say it was a pretty successful day. Came back, was able to get a boil done in the same day. If you're new, please subscribe. Hopefully I'll be coming out with a new video next week. Stay tuned. Peace.